Hi, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Aley at Heart and Soul Connected, and I'm really happy to have you here. So this is one of my pre-recorded videos, and the title is Psychics Read Your Energy, Not Your Future. And so it's kind of a fun topic. So it's by way of explanatory information. And many of you who are already here already know all of this, but it's kind of fun to talk about it anyway. So thank you, everybody. So when you think of the word psychic, when maybe even before you ever went to one or you ever got a reading from one, what popped into your head, like Miss Cleo, or a woman that's dressed with a babushka and she's got a crystal ball and she's ooh, all of those things create images in our mind's eye. And of course, there's so many different types of people who do readings that it's quite interesting that we have that kind of a stereotype, or we did. Let's say we did. Is it crystal balls, tarot cards, predictions about a tall, dark stranger in your future? Then we can think of Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost. I mean, there's a lot of imagery that we can find depending upon what our background was and what we were taught about it. So what if the real craft of a psychic has nothing to do with seeing something fixed or unchangeable in the future? What if it's all about reading some much more immediate and personal? What if they're actually reading your energy as it is right now? I find that that's so common. So, if energy is being read of what's going on in the situation, what that does is it says you have the ability to change the energy by what. And so if something is read and you make the change, guess what happens? Sometimes they've said about the future does not happen. And you think, oh, that person didn't know anything about what they were talking about. But they were reading the energy of the moment. That's why many times we say that the energies are important for us to understand that we're reading for the now, we're reading for today, we're reading for whatever considerations that are going on in your life right now. So I'm going to break down a couple of misunderstood practices and look at how genuine intuitives work like energy translators more so than any kind of fortune telling. I don't ever consider myself a fortune teller, by the way. There's no way. At the end, you'll have a new way of looking at how it works. So we got the great fortune teller. That's the first person. And if somebody says to you, oh, you're being cursed, you have to pay me $300 and I'll lift the curse off of you, run as fast as you can in the other direction. The idea that a psychic is here to give you winning lottery numbers or a date when you'll finally meet the one is not going to happen. This belief is the source of so much fascination, but it's also why people get skeptical or disappointed, because it doesn't happen. This stereotype gets a lot of help from the media. Oh, yes, it does. We have movie characters that get a single dramatic prophecy that defines the story. There are many spiritual advisors that find this very deeply troubling because the core belief is the future is not a set destination. It's not a movie that really has ever been shot. Think of it like a web of endless possibilities, constantly being shaped by your free will, your choices, your mindset, and your energy at any given moment. So, this just isn't a small misunderstanding. It changes everything. If the future is fluid, then the goal of a reading isn't to predict it, but to understand the energy you're working with right now that works around that future. What are you creating with your energy? And where's it taking you to? That's a much more powerful place to be. So you're not just a passenger. You're actually in the driver's seat if you understand that it is the energy and not a fixed future. Now, I know there's a lot of people say, Aley, I already knew all that. There are some people that don't. So thank you for your support of course. And hopefully other people will understand it if they take the time to stay and listen. What is this energy that they're reading? That sounds fishy. When people in these circles talk about energy, they don't mean the kind you measure in a science class. They're talking about the vibrational field that is around you and comes through you. Some call it an aura or your vibe or a biofield. You felt this before, you just didn't call it that. It's a heavy feeling in a room right after an argument. Oh, God, hate that. All that light, buzzy feeling you get around someone who's genuinely happy, you're feeling their energy. You can feel energy when you walk in a room. You can bring your energy to a room and see how people change. There's so much going on that's subtle, but there. In these belief systems, it's thought that everything, your thoughts, your feelings, your past traumas, and your deepest beliefs all contribute to the energy field. It creates a signature that's uniquely yours. If you're anxious, the anxiety has a certain feeling. If you're full of confidence, that feeling feels different. As an energy reader is someone who believes they have trained themselves to perceive and interpret these subtle signatures. That's all. We all have the ability. Have we tapped into them? Maybe not. Have we listened to our gut? Maybe not. We have the ability if we choose to take our energy and focus on that. So now we have to be really clear. The existence of human auras or measurable psychic energy is not supported by mainstream science. Oh, well, no wonder. If you can't get someone to scientifically say that this is the way it should be, then why should I believe it? Studies haven't been done to prove that auras exist, but there are cameras that show it. If you've ever had an aura photography done, you would have learned and seen the aura that exists that's around you. Some people can read them just looking at you. The clairs are the next one. It's how the psychic's toolkit. So if you're reading the energy field, how do you know how to do it? Well, it's the French. Nope, not eclairs. But what it is French for is clear. So it's clear knowing, clear seeing, clear feeling, clear hearing. And all of those clairs are available to every single one of us. We usually have one or two that are more prevalent than the others. We can get them all to work for us if that's what we choose. Okay, so they're terms used inside the community to categorize intuitive feelings. Hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting are also part of it. So as we're getting into this, I'm really curious to hear from you if you want to let me know later. Have you ever had a gut feeling about a person or a situation that turned out to be spot on? Which of these clairs sound most like you? Write it in the comments. If you know, for instance, for myself, it's clear knowing. I get the impression and I feel like I know this. I already know this. So for others, it might be something else. It might be seeing something in the mind's eye. It might be hearing an inner voice that's chattering and telling you something. Just as the weather cannot be considered a fixed destiny, but is only a forecast, psychics read energy and meteorologists do too. The best analogy is a weather forecast. A psychic reading in this view is like an energetic weather report. Oh boy, that's fun. And we certainly do not want to get rid of those protecting us to receive those weather reports. There's an important part of the analogy, but it's a little in where it's different. A real weather forecast is based on huge amounts of measurable scientific data. We know that. A psychic reading isn't. It's intuitive interpretation of spiritual ideas about energy, which are not scientifically proven. A key part of the analogy is that it can change. You can't stop a hurricane. You can absolutely change your energy, though. A psychic's insight isn't a final verdict. It's a tool. It's a tool that's acceptable and that is accessible to all of us. Sorry, I'm having trouble today with my tongue. Yeah. A good psychic's goal isn't to make you feel helpless while you wait for something to happen. It's to show you that you're currently creating a certain energy so that you can decide, do I want that in the future or do I want to do something about it? Let's make an example as well in practice. A fortune teller might say to you, or a psychic might say to you, yes or no, or I can't see the future right now, or you need to work on this, or you need to work on that. The psychic then translates what it is they see, hear, smell, feel, taste, touch into a message, knowing the symbology that they're seeing is something they have worked with for a long time. And that's why a lot of people use cards. That's why people use pendulums. There's other things that are there. The reading doesn't predict the future. It diagnoses the present. It helps you understand what energy you sit in. And I think that's helpful. And there's a lot of people who will say, that's right. It gives the power back to the person being read. The person doing the reading is not the all-powerful Oz, That person is just simply helping the person listening what they need to know. So you are the oracle. Psychics don't read your future. The energy that is read is being built in this very moment. They interpret the story your energy is telling you about your past, present, and the path you're on. The biggest shift in your energy is understanding what this is without passively waiting for prophecy. In other words, I can give you a reading and you can say, well, okay, so I'm going to just wait here for that to happen. Or you can get out and make it so. You can change the energy that would either create it or turn it away from where you are. It's very important that you know that everyone has intuition, and by learning to listen to their own feelings, emotions, and vibes, you're already beginning to read the energy. Trust yourself. Trust your wisdom. Trust everything. Pay attention. Your energy talks to you all the time. You don't have to always ask somebody else, but it's okay to do that too, because what it's doing is it's highlighting the energy, and you, the sovereign being that you are, has the opportunity to take what's there and move it into something much better and more interesting to you as a person. Thank you so much for coming by. I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.